The Collaborative on Reckoning and Justice is a group of 30 people who are doing work around the country related to the ways in which our criminal justice system impacts certain communities differently and wants to come together to discuss how we can reckon with that history and reimagine a different type of justice system.
We have inherited a great, great sin, and it perpetuates. Reckoning starts with acknowledging that, and then there's repair.
Justice has been stymied and blocked in so many different ways, in large part because we don't understand our history.
Unless and until we take face on the issues of white supremacy and racial injustice that drive not just our criminal justice system, but all of our social systems, we're never going to make any progress. The people who are joining the collaborative come from all over the country. Some people are organizers, some people are researchers.
Law enforcement, prosecutors, judges, families of loved ones who were in the system, like myself.
I can say I'm an expert on prison, not because I've studied, read it, got degrees and all that stuff, but because I was in it.
I'm a retired youth correctional officer of 35 years.
There are roles that I actually think shouldn't exist in society, and so being open to hearing those perspectives is something that I will have to push myself on.
We have people from both far ends of this political spectrum. Some people come from more of an abolitionist perspective, and some people like me come from a perspective that's more incremental, you might say.
The experiment that's going to unfold over the next 2.5 years is precisely about talking across those boundaries.
The country is at a time where the mere idea of reckoning with history, particularly racial history and racial injustice, is part of the division. We're doing something that's important for the country to be able to show others that this sort of conversation is possible.
The stakes have become more high as our country has become more and more polarized. But the reality is that this work has been urgent since the origins of this nation.
We've got to learn on a smaller scale what it means to build these bridges on common ground in order to heal and move forward.
The fact that we can sit down at the table and say, let's see what it looks like if we take it back to square one. That's so profound, because I can't even imagine it.
I think we reimagine justice by first reckoning with what our current justice system is, what is the history that got us here, and it also has to be about listening to and building with a much wider group of folks.
Who can I align with, who I would have not necessarily thought of before, who can be co-conspirators in this work with me?
I think we're a little microcosm of the rest of the country. If we're purposeful, if we're intentional, if we're thoughtful, if we learn how to listen, that's what is going to get us someplace new.
I know that 30 people will walk away different, and those 30 people will then have some type of influence over many other people.
If we can come to a shared language around reckoning, those 30 people can translate that to their own work. We can have an impact beyond these walls.